You're not struggling with guilt because you're a bad person. You're struggling with guilt because nobody taught you how to process it. Hi, I'm Dana Frost. Welcome back to my channel. I write poetry and we discuss life. So I want to talk today about guilt, right? We've all experienced guilt in some way or another. And for me, I've noticed that it's been a struggle that's coming up quite often right now. I constantly feel like I'm guilty because I feel like I'm behind. I feel like I'm not achieving what I need to be achieving, and I'm just putting a lot of pressure on myself. And I just want to remind both you and myself that this is our first time on this planet. This is our first time being human. This is our first time really figuring everything out, and we should give ourselves some grace, right? With that, when it comes to guilt, everything feels heavier than it should. And for me, I replay it. You do as well. You overthink it. We punish ourselves for it. Even when we've already outgrown the version of ourselves that committed the act that, we're guilty for in the first place, or the experience that we had. We've already outgrown that version of ourselves and we're still over here punishing ourselves for it. Why? Why do we do that? Why are we so cruel to ourselves? If we were our friend, we would tell them, hey, it's okay. And we try to lessen the load. So I think for us, and I'm putting this out there so I can hold myself accountable, I need to be more gracious with myself. I need to be more kind with myself. And maybe this is your sign to do the same for you. Maybe you're not being very kind to yourself right now. And maybe what we need to really remember here is that guilt is not here to punish us. It's here to direct us. Guilt says that action or inaction didn't align with who we are, that it didn't align with the values that we have. That's a beautiful redirection when you think about it like that. Guilt is just here to say, this doesn't align with you. It's not here to say that you're a bad person. Guilt is not here to say that you're falling behind. Guilt is not here to say that you're a failure. Guilt is a signal. It's not a sentence. In my own reflections, I've noticed that there are two types of guilt. There's the guilt that helps you grow. I'm going to call it growth guilt just for the sake of it. That helps you take accountability to do better. And then there's false guilt. That guilt is the guilt that keeps you stuck. That's the guilt that you need to learn to release. I'm pretty sure that 90% of that guilt, if not all of it, was never yours to carry in the first place. And it's time we let that go. And I know for me, it's very hard to let things go. I know that this is a very big ask. And I would love if you could sit right now and think about all the things that you are harboring guilt for. Is it even yours to carry? I don't think it is. I don't think so. And if it is, how can you take accountability? How can you make it better? And what have you learned from your guilt? Because there's always a lesson there. Now, I want to talk about how do we move guilt? You know, how do we remove it from our system? The first step in moving guilt is to name it. What am I feeling guilty about? What are you really feeling guilty about? Is it guilt or is it anxiety? That's a whole nother topic. Maybe I'll address that in my next one. Maybe I'll make this a series. Okay, focus. What are you feeling guilty for? What does your guilt look like? I had a conversation with a coach recently, and I expressed my guilt looks like a venomous snake poised in the S formation to strike at me at any given slip up, right? And if it bites me, it's gonna kill me, right? And throughout that, we're talking, and I'm like, we came to the conclusion that maybe I need to just change the animal. You know, what if the animal was different? And I came up with, I'm changing my animal. It's no longer a snake that can kill me. I'm changing it to a judgmental capybara. I mean, a capybara is just chilling. It's just there on vibes. Everybody's friends with a capybara. But, like, it can side-eye you. Like, yeah, that's not what we're about, babe. And that has helped me so much on reframing and just dealing with my guilt. I feel less stuck when I think about it like that. So I implore you to get to know your guilt. What does it look like? What is it trying to show you? How can you tweak it? You know? Maybe it's like Goliath and you have to remember that you're David with the slingshot. You know? And like the second step we need to address, or the second step that we can use to move guilt and process it better, I would say would be to check it. Was this even my responsibility? Was it yours? Was this even meant for me, or was this a projection from somebody else? You never know until you look at it. And the third is to act or release. If the guilt is yours because of your doing, your actions, then guess what, babes? You can make it right. You're the only one who has the power to make it right. You're the only one that can ease this pressure that you've put on yourself. You're the only one that can make this go away. So act. Don't hesitate. You've clearly done that enough. That's why you're guilty as hell and sitting here staring at me. So let's fix it so it can go away. And then the other one, if it was not yours to begin with, if it was not your guilt, if it was not your responsibility, if it just had nothing to do with you, and you're just here feeling like crap and like guilty, let it go. As soon as you realize that it's not yours, say, I don't take ownership of this. You can get out. You can totally go away. You know? But at the end of it, this brings me to the last point, to the fourth point. And in my opinion, it's the most important point. Stop punishing yourself for being human. Stop punishing yourself for being human. You're trying, you're figuring it out. It's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to stumble. It's okay to fall. But you need to forgive yourself. You need to let it go if it wasn't yours. You need to forgive yourself for even carrying it in the first place. You need to forgive yourself for what you have been taught all your life about how to handle situations, about how to handle guilt, how to handle feelings. And when I mean being taught, either by others or yourself, you need to realize, like, I deserve to give myself grace. This is the first time I'm here. This is the first time we're experiencing this. This is the first time we're really sitting down to deal with the weights that we've been carrying for so long. You don't heal by holding on to guilt. You heal by learning from it and letting yourself move forward. You, my dear, are not your worst moment at all. You're not who you are when you were down in the pits. You're not who you are when you made rash decisions. That's not you. Give yourself the grace you would your best friend. Give yourself the grace of just reminding yourself that you're human. Give yourself the grace to allow yourself to choose differently, to have a different perspective, to allow yourself to heal and not have a clue on how to do it. You are not your worst moment. And with that, I would love to know if this helped. So please like, share, subscribe, drop it in the comments. What was the most impactful part of this video, if there was one? I'd love to know what that is. And I just want to remind you that you are loved, that you are cherished, that you are valued. I'm so happy you're here. You are worthy and you deserve to be here. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.